everyone, I'm Daneen O'Donnell for Business as Usual, and today we're with David Wood at the Home Improvement Center in Butler. And David, this is one of the best kept secrets in Butler. My first experience with your store was when you were located on, was it Locust?
Yep, 400 East Locust Street.
400 East Locust Street, and our first project was we were trying to not remodel a whole bathroom, but we were trying to match a rose bathtub.
Oh, a challenge went, huh? Yeah.
And you guys did it. You found a sink and a toilet that matched that rose bathtub. So we, have been familiar with you for years. And now you are located down here on Nagley Avenue. And you have a huge warehouse, so big that we were lost trying to find our way back out. So David, tell us a little bit, what made you get into the home improvement business?
Well, it actually started with my brother-in-law, my business partner, who had, him and a friend had been doing some installing and then decided to solidify that into a building, which was the 400 East Locust Street. So whenever we first started, my wife and I were getting married that year, and so we were down helping Kirby paint Locust Street up ready for business, not knowing that later that year I was going to join him in the business. And 41 years later, here we are doing the thing with another generation in place to my niece and nephew, Kirby's children, to carry on that legacy. So.
Very cool. Now, how long has it been since you've been in this location right here on Nagley Avenue?
We bought this building in 1998. So in doing so, it was a big move, leaving where we had been. So we decided to keep them both going for 5 years.
Okay.
So we bought this and we moved all the kitchens, baths, windows, doors, all the big, things that were like struggling to space-wise to take care of. And then we kept the hardware store up there, the old-fashioned hardware store. So people would come into the store and they would be like, "Where's your kitchens and baths," or whatever? "Oh, you haven't heard yet." And so we'd have a map on the counter there to get from there to here, 10% off anything they purchased, and encourage them to come find out. We're only the other end of town, but how people get. Like you moved, 10 miles away. But,
that's true.
But that was in 98. We kept that alive. In 2003, we brought everything down under this roof. Yeah.
And you said, I think, that this used to be a meat packing plant, so the space is just incredible down here.
We have 32,000 square feet down here, showroom space, so that allows us to do all those things that we couldn't do up there. It's amazing what we stuffed into that little store. It was like a jack-in-the-box when we started to take things out of it, too. It's like, wow, how did we get all this in here? But it really literally only took us a year down here, even with 32,000 square feet, that we had the place filled up.
You always wonder that when you go from a smaller space, how did you survive? But so what kind of things do you do down here? For instance, when someone comes in and they see all the countertops and lights and things, is it a place where people come in and they pick stuff out and they're on their own for a project, or do you do the whole installation and everything like that? How much are you involved?
All the way, actually.
Okay.
So we kind of create the scenario, whatever's best for the customer. If you're a weekend warrior and you like to tackle your projects yourself, then pick our brains for 41 years of experience, and we'll coach you through. Feel free to call if you're in the middle of the project and you're struggling with something. So we can just be your wholesaler, take advantage of the showroom and the fact that we distribute about every brand of product in the industry. Or if you're somebody who's not handy at all, then we're a complete turnkey operation where you can actually then have us do everything. So we'll come out to your house, measure everything up what needs to be, then we invite you to the showroom here to pick all that product out so that we can put together a real price. And then when we do that, that's a solidified number. We would draft you out a contract, and if anything happens in the interim, it's on us. We've looked at it, you've picked the products you wanted. If we open up a wall and find a surprise, well, that's just part of life, and we stick to our promise of this is your price. There's no little added things in the end.
So David, a lot of people, they're not familiar that you're down here, and everyone's used to going to the big generic box stores, and I presume you have to really fight against that to draw people in. But if people come in, which is part of the reason we're doing this show, is we hope that people will familiarize themselves with places that they've had in Butler for, you said
41 years.
41 years. And I'm astounded by the products that you have on hand, and instantly my brain is clicking and saying, oh, we should remodel the bathroom. We should look at this countertop. And there are so many things. What would you say people would be most surprised to find here at the store? Something that they wouldn't, like I know we used to come here and get very odd light bulbs that you couldn't find at other places. So what would you say are some of the typical items that are hard to find that people might find here?
Well, first of all, thank you in Armstrong for actually doing that for us and showing people that don't get to see us on a normal basis. We're not in the traffic pattern of life.
That's right.
We're on a dead-end street. So yes, we do fight the challenge of keeping fresh in people's minds. So it does put more of a strain on us to get that word out there in all aspects. Anything that's available to advertise, we generally do to be able to get that apart. Some of the things you mentioned, like crazy light bulbs or whatever, our hardware store is something that really blows people away. So we're truly like the last of the Mohicans, the original hardware store. You can come in and buy one bolt, one nut, one washer.
As opposed to a whole pack.
You don't have to buy a 25 in a pack. And just that the hardware source we have from Nashville, Tennessee, shelves like 200,000 items. So things that you just don't see in today's market. So we have that to draw from. One of the things that people love about coming down, they've got a leaky faucet, they've got a problem, and we have just hundreds of stems and cartridges of faucets to come in. So instead of having to repair that faucet or replace that faucet, you can repair that faucet. We coach you through that, even if it's just a washer. To do that.
And I walked back there and saw all kinds of like pipe joints of all different sizes for any kind of, it seems like you could probably cover just about any project from down here.
It's pretty hard to stump us on about anything.
Now, do you have a website or a Facebook page, or how can people find out more about the Home Improvement Center? How can they get in touch with you?
Yes, both actually. We do have Facebook. My niece Nicole, who's my right hand in here, that next generation helps with all that kind of thing. So we do have a Home Improvement Center as a Facebook. So please like us and spread that to your friends and family. And also then we do have a website. It's Home Improvement Center without the E's in center.
Okay.
So Home Improvement and Center without the E's. And find us there. And we've had some other local places that have tried to help out, some other young folks. Amber's List, if you've seen that from some of the local people, has come in and introduced himself. We're participating with that now with them. And just any avenue we can find that will help us get to our fellow patrons around here. So.
Well, David, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to come in and talk to you. And I have to tell you, if you want to dream about a project, something you've been thinking about, and you need ideas, this is the place to come, the Home Improvement Center on Negley Avenue. For Armstrong, this has been Daneen O'Donnell for Business as Usual. If you enjoyed this episode of Business as Usual and would like to see more, click on the playlist button up here. To catch all your programming on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel, click on the subscribe button down here. I suggest you do both.